She mocked my love. Now she cries for it back. I still remember the way she laughed that night. Not the kind of laughter that fills a room, but the one that slices through it. The kind that tells you something's already broken, even if you're not ready to admit it. God, Erin, you take everything so seriously, she said, her eyes gleaming under the kitchen light. It's just a joke. But it wasn't just a joke. It was the third time that week she'd laughed about our marriage in front of her friends. Each time it hurt a little more. The way she said love like it was a punchline, not a promise. That night, after she went upstairs, I sat alone at the kitchen table staring at the empty wine glasses. One still had her lipstick mark on it, crimson smudged, like a wound that refused to heal. Mia wasn't always like this. When we met 5 years ago, she was all warmth and wonder. A freelance photographer with a smile that could stop traffic and a soul that loved to roam. I was the opposite. Steady, grounded, predictable. She used to say I was her anchor. But somewhere between her new promotion and my late nights at work, the anchor became a chain. It started small, a missed call here, a cold shoulder there. Then came the little lies, the evasive texts, the just work friends, who somehow always made her laugh harder than I did. And yet, I wanted to believe her. Because that's what love does. It blinds you not because you're weak, but because hope is addictive. The truth found me on a Thursday. She'd left her laptop open in the living room. Something she never did. I wasn't looking for anything, but the message popped up before I could turn away. Eli. Last night was dangerous. Can't stop thinking about you. Mia. Don't remind me, grinning face with sweat. He almost came upstairs. I stared at the screen until the words blurred. My hands shook so badly I could barely close the laptop. For a moment I thought about confronting her right then. But anger is a strange thing. It doesn't always roar. Sometimes it sits quietly, taking notes, waiting for the right moment to strike. So I said nothing. Not that night, not the next. I watched her carefully instead. Every late text, every sudden shower after girls' night, every distant smile. I memorized it all like evidence for a trial I never wanted to hold. 2 weeks later I had my proof. She said she was meeting a client at the downtown cafe. I called her an hour later, pretending I'd forgotten my wallet at home. No answer. So I drove there. And there she was, sitting across from him. Eli. I recognized him from her Instagram stories. The coworker who always seemed to be in her frame. They weren't kissing. They didn't have to. The way she looked at him, eyes soft, smile nervous, that was worse. Seen that look before. She used to save it for me. I watched them for maybe 30 seconds before I drove away. My chest felt hollow. The kind of emptiness that makes you want to scream but no sound comes out. That night she came home humming, acting like nothing happened. How was your client meeting? I asked, keeping my tone even. She froze. Just a fraction of a second, but I saw it. Then the lie came, smooth as silk. It went fine. Why? Smiled. No reason. She tilted her head. You okay? Perfect, I said. And for the first time in weeks I meant it, because I finally understood what I had to do. Over the next few days I withdrew, subtly at first. No more morning coffee together, no more small talk before bed. I started working late, just like she used to. She noticed. Course she did. Are you mad at me? She asked one night. No, I said without looking up from my laptop. Just busy. Her voice softened. Erin, if something's wrong you can talk to me. I almost laughed. The hypocrisy stung worse than her betrayal. Sure, I said. Maybe another time. And I went to bed before she could answer. Took her 3 weeks to break. One night, she walked into my office wearing the same sweater I bought her last winter, the one she'd stopped wearing months ago. Her eyes were red, her voice small. Can we talk? Closed the laptop slowly. About what? About us, she whispered. I leaned back, pretending to think. There is no us, Mia. There's you, there's me, and there's Eli. Her breath caught. You know. I've known for a while. Tears welled up, but I didn't feel sympathy. Just exhaustion. It wasn't what you think, she said quickly. It just happened. I was confused. You were so distant and he... Stop. I raised a hand. Don't you dare blame me for your choices. I'm not. I made a mistake, okay? But I love you, Aaron. I never stopped. I let out a quiet, bitter laugh. You mocked my love, Mia. You called it boring, predictable, safe. And now you want it back because the chaos doesn't love you the same way. A sob. Please don't do this. Don't throw us away. I stood up. You already did. I moved out 2 days later. I called, texted, showed up at my office once, eyes swollen, voice trembling. I ended it with him, she said. It's over. But betrayal doesn't end when the affair does. It lingers, in the smell of her perfume on your jacket, in the echo of her laughter in an empty house. So I said the only thing I could. I hope you find what you're looking for. Then I closed the door. Months passed. People say time heals, but they never tell you how slowly it crawls. Some nights I still thought about her. Not the woman who lied, but the one who used to dance barefoot in the kitchen, who painted her dreams in photographs, who loved me like I was enough. But love changes when it's mocked. It becomes something else, a ghost you can't bury. A year later, I ran into her at a cafe. She looked smaller somehow, tired. She smiled faintly when she saw me. Aaron, she said softly. Mia. We stood there for a moment, strangers with shared memories. You look good, she said. You too, I lied. She hesitated, then asked, do you ever think about us? I met her eyes. Every day. But not the way you want me to. Her lips trembled. I made a mistake. The worst one of my life. I know. I thought I needed excitement, she whispered. But I just needed you. You were my peace, and I traded it for noise. There was nothing left to say. So I smiled, not with bitterness, not with regret, but with release. You once mocked my love, I said quietly. Now you cry for it back. But love isn't something you borrow and return when convenient. Her tears fell freely then. Aaron, please. I turned toward the door. Goodbye, Mia. Outside, the evening air felt sharp, almost cleansing. The city buzzed around me, alive and indifferent. For the first time in a long time I felt light, not because I'd forgotten her, but because I'd finally forgiven myself for holding on too long. Love doesn't always end in hate. Sometimes it ends in understanding that some people aren't meant to stay no matter how much you once believed they would. And as I walked away, I realized something I hadn't before. The pain she left had taught me how to rebuild. Not for her, not even for what we'd lost, but for the man I'd almost forgotten to be.